She said, "I'm not skipping girls' night just because your mom's in the hospital. She'll be fine." I stayed silent. When she came home to an empty apartment and my mom's obituary on the table, her laugh finally stopped. My mom had been in and out of hospitals for the better part of a year. Heart problems, complications, the kind of thing that makes your phone feel heavier every time it buzzes. That night, the call came at 6:47 p.m. "Mr. Walker, your mother's heart rate dropped again. She's asking for you." I threw on a hoodie and started getting my keys when Emily, my girlfriend of 3 years, came out of the bedroom, curling her hair in front of the mirror. "Babe, I gotta go to the hospital," I said, grabbing my coat. She barely looked up. "Now? It's Friday, and I finally have girls' night. I've been planning this for 2 weeks." I paused. "Emily, she's in the ICU. They said it's bad this time." She sighed, setting down her curling iron. "I get that, but she's always in the hospital. And I really need this night. It's been a stressful week for me too." For a second, I thought she was joking. Then she picked up her purse and looked at me expectantly, like she was waiting for me to say it was fine. "Emily," I said slowly, "my mom might not have another week." Her expression softened for just a moment, then hardened again. "I'm sorry, but she'll be okay. You worry too much." And then she left. It had been 3 days since that morning. 3 days since she came home to find her things packed by the door. 3 days since I told her I was done. I didn't block her. I didn't send angry texts. I didn't post anything. I just stopped talking. And that silence, apparently, said more than any argument ever could. On the third evening, she showed up at my work, standing by the lobby doors in a hoodie and jeans, so different from the perfectly curated, confident Emily everyone knew. When I saw her, my chest tightened, not out of love, but out of the realization that she finally understood what she'd lost. She walked up to me slowly. "Can we talk?" she asked, voice trembling. I looked at her, then at the people walking past, pretending not to notice the scene unfolding. "I don't think there's much left to say, Emily." Tears welled in her eyes. "I messed up. I wasn't thinking. I just thought your mom would be okay. I didn't mean to be so heartless." I finished for her. She winced. "I was scared," she whispered. "Scared of being the kind of girlfriend who always gives up her life for someone else's family." I didn't realize. She trailed off. I sighed, running a hand through my hair. "Emily, it wasn't about giving up your life. It was about being there for someone who mattered to me. You didn't have to stay the whole night. Just show up. That's all I needed." She nodded, biting her lip, tears streaming down her cheeks now. "I know, and I hate myself for not being there. I can't sleep. I keep seeing your face when I walked in that morning." For a moment, I almost said something kind. Almost. But grief has a way of hardening what's left of your heart. "I'm sorry you're hurting," I said quietly. "But I can't help you fix what you chose to break." She reached out, a shaky hand on my arm, but I stepped back. Her lips trembled, and she looked down. "I'll go," she whispered. "I just wanted you to know I'm sorry." As she turned to leave, I noticed her scrolling through her phone, deleting one photo after another. Us at the beach, at my mom's birthday, on our first trip together. Each swipe was a small funeral of its own. That night, I sat alone in the apartment again. And for the first time, I didn't feel empty. Just quiet. The kind of quiet that tells you finally let go. Update 1. It's been 2 months since Emily walked out of that lobby. 2 months since we last spoke face to face. I thought time would dull everything. The anger, the sadness, the memory of her words that night. But what really faded first wasn't the pain. It was the need for her. The apartment is quiet now. Not lonely, just still. There's no half-finished cups of coffee on the counter. No perfume lingering in the hallway. Just me, my thoughts, and the soft hum of the city outside. And yet, every few days, her name still finds its way into my world. The first time was through a mutual friend. "Hey man," he said awkwardly. "Emily posted something about you." I didn't want to look, but curiosity is a cruel thing. Her post was a picture of a hospital hallway, the same one where my mom had been. The caption read, "Sometimes you don't realize what love looks like until you see it walking away." Hundreds of likes, dozens of comments, people calling her brave, saying, "We all make mistakes." But none of them knew. None of them saw the look on my mom's face that night. The disappointment, not in Emily, but in me, forever thinking she was someone who'd care. I didn't comment. I didn't like it. I just closed the app. A week later, she messaged me. "Can we talk?" Just once. Please. I stared at the message for a long time, then locked my phone and went back to making dinner. I guess she wasn't used to silence being an answer. Then came the flowers, a delivery to my office. White lilies, her favorite, not mine. The card said, "I'll never forgive myself for not being there. I hope your mom's doing better." My assistant handed them to me with a curious look. I simply said, "Return to sender." That's when it got quieter. No posts, no texts, just an empty digital void where her voice used to live. Until last week. I was scrolling through Instagram late at night, half awake, when I saw it, a new post from her account. A photo of her sitting alone on a park bench, her face turned away, the caption reading, "I learned that love isn't about grand gestures. It's about showing up, even when it's inconvenient." The comments were full of sympathy again. People telling her she'd grow, that she'd find someone who appreciates her heart. And for the first time, I didn't feel bitterness. Just an odd, calm sort of acceptance. She wasn't the villain anymore. She was just someone who failed to love right. And I was someone who finally learned when to stop begging to be chosen. When my mom asked about her last night, I just smiled. "She taught me something," I said. "That love without presence isn't love at all." My mom nodded slowly. I soft. "I'm proud of you, honey. You handled it like a man." I wanted to say, "No, I handled it like someone who's been broken before and refused to be again." But instead, I just said, "Thanks, Mom." Later that night, I got one last text from Emily. No apologies. No long explanations. Just, "I hope you find someone who shows up for you the way I should have." I looked at it for a while, then replied, "I already did." Because by then, I wasn't talking about another woman. I was talking about me. The version of me that learned silence is sometimes the loudest answer of all. Final update that it's been almost a year since that night. A year since Emily chose her girls' night over being there when I needed her most. A year since I stopped trying to make someone stay who never planned to. Funny thing is, when people talk about healing, they make it sound like a process, a journey, a line you follow from pain to peace. But healing isn't a straight line. It's a circle. You just learn to walk it quieter each time. I didn't plan to see her again. Life has a way of testing that kind of resolve, though. It was a Saturday afternoon, warm and golden, the kind of day that makes the world look softer. I was at a small local market with someone new, Claire. She wasn't loud or dazzling like Emily. She was calm, the kind of calm that fills a room instead of consuming it. She had this way of listening that made silence feel safe, not awkward. We were laughing about something, I don't even remember what, when I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Alex." Her voice froze me for half a second. I turned, and there she was, Emily. She looked different, older maybe, not in a bad way, but like someone who'd finally seen what loss looks like from the outside. Her hair was shorter, her eyes softer, less fire, more reflection. "Hey," I said, polite but distant. She smiled, that old practice smile that once could disarm me in an instant. But it didn't, not anymore. "Wow," she said. "You look good. It's been a while." "It has." Claire squeezed my hand gently, sensing something unspoken. Emily's eyes flickered to her. Curiosity mixed with something else. Regret, maybe. "I didn't know you were seeing someone," she said. Her voice was careful, like she was trying not to break something fragile. "I didn't know either," I replied with a small laugh. Until I stopped waiting for someone who wouldn't show up. Her face fell slightly. She understood. There was an awkward pause. Then she said, "I've been meaning to reach out. To apologize again, I mean. I was selfish back then. I thought." I cut her off gently. "You don't need to explain. We were just in different places." She nodded slowly. "Yeah, I just, I didn't realize what I had until I watched it walk away." Claire gave her a kind smile, and somehow that made it worse for Emily. Because there was no hate here, no bitterness, just finality. I said, "Take care of yourself, Emily." And that was it. We walked away. No dramatic ending, no tears, no music swelling in the background. Just two people who once shared everything, now sharing silence. Later that night, I got a notification. She'd posted something on Instagram again. A picture of a sunset with the caption, "Some people don't slam doors. They just quietly lock them and walk away forever." It got hundreds of likes, as usual. But this time, I didn't feel anything. No nostalgia, no anger, just gratitude. Because I realized something. Closure doesn't always come from apologies or conversations. Sometimes it comes from standing in front of the same person who once broke you and feeling absolutely nothing. My mom's doing better these days. Claire's met her a few times, and they get along like they've known each other for years. Sometimes, when we're cooking dinner together, I'll catch myself smiling for no reason. It's not because I forgot Emily. It's because I finally stopped remembering her as the ending and started remembering her as the reason I learned what beginnings should feel like. The apartment is still quiet, but it's a different kind of quiet now. Peaceful, steady, full of small laughter and simple joy. And every once in a while, I think back to that night, to the moment she said, "She'll be okay." And she was right. She was okay. My mom recovered. And so did I.